Hey everybody, welcome to this Draw with Pixar tutorial. My name's Scott Morse. I'm a story artist at Pixar, where I've had the opportunity of working on a lot of really cool movies, like Ratatouille, WALL-E, some of the Cars movies, and the upcoming movie Soul. Today I'm at home, probably like you, and I thought I'd work off some of my extra energy by doing some sketching. And I thought I'd sketch an old buddy, Lightning McQueen.
Now, when I start to sketch, I like to do as much research as I can ahead of time, and these Cars characters can be a little tricky. We're lucky with a character like McQueen because the character already exists and the design is already set. So we can see all kinds of really cool little details on toys and drawings and posters and things, or even freeze-framing the movie. These details can be really helpful. Things like the headlights and the Rust-eze logo give us landmarks on McQueen's body. Now, the tools we're going to use are just basic tools you probably already have around your own house. A regular old pencil, 8.5 by 11 paper you can steal off your printer, and we're just going to work with really basic shapes. We're going to work rough. In story, in particular, we like to say, always work rough. And that doesn't necessarily mean scribbly. It means think rough. It means think in rough shapes, just really basic things like squares, circles, rectangles, triangles. Think about where light might exist in your world as you're constructing your character so that you can cast shadows. I don't necessarily always draw a light bulb or ever draw a light bulb, but I'm drawing one today for you guys so that you can keep it in mind. Now, these Cars characters, if they existed in our world, would be made out of metal, but I like to think of them almost like they're made out of soap or a sponge, where they're a little bit more pliable and you can get some squash and stretch out of them. And again, we're just working with simple geometry. Simple, we're going to find a through line. We're stacking boxes. We're just stacking a box on top of a box. And we're starting to look for the landmarks on McQueen's body, where his wheel wells might land. We're going to kick out that front end a little bit more. That Rust-eze logo is a really great landmark to kind of give us other things to think about as far as where the headlights might go, where the corners of his mouth might land. Give him his confident smile, how his wheel wells might work. That back fender and his little lightning bolt. Just really simple shapes like rectangles, circles, squares, triangles on those windows. And find that center line for his eye. His eyelid actually acts almost like a lightning bolt or a letter Z itself. It's not a swoop. It's more of a straight line and another straight line with a little jagged bit in the middle. And one eye never crosses that center line. And again, think about that light source, where shadows might hit, where shadows might fall. And we're just going to keep this really, really rough, because this isn't our final drawing. This is just our rough. We're going to put another piece of paper over the top, and we're going to keep working. Now, you should just be able to lay another piece of 8.5 by 11 paper over what you've got, and your lines are probably dark enough that you're going to be able to see your rough drawing underneath. And we're going to go and we're going to remember all these little details that we observed on McQueen when we were doing our thinking before we even got started. It's crazy, but that back fender on McQueen in particular in the Cars world, I like to think of almost not like a car fender, but like the back leg on a dog who's getting ready to run, or the back leg on a cat who's crouched and getting ready to pounce. It's almost like McQueen's haunches. He's such a fast car. I like to think about him getting rared up, even just in his design. And again, we're working over our rough, and we're not tracing. We're using that as reference to subtract out the drawing lines that we didn't like in our rough. And we're going to add tighter lines over the top here, only selecting the ideas that we liked from before. We don't have to even show anybody our rough when we're done. Just the details we like. We're going to think about the thickness around the windshield, because there's a truth in these materials. We know what real cars look like. We know how thick those little beams are around our windshields. And that helps add a little bit of reality to these crazy characters that we've created for these car stories. The life for these characters is definitely in their eyes, so I like to make their pupils nice and dark. Find all the little details like his spoiler in the back. Think about that light source. Maybe not actually draw it in, but think about where it might hit in the world and how shadows might work on this three-dimensional shape we've created. And again, it can stay very, very rough. And if you want, you can lay another piece of paper over this and tighten it again and add color and keep going if you really, really feel like you want to. But I like the life that comes out of a nice pencil drawing like this. Sign your work when you're done. And on social media, definitely post your drawing if you can. And use the Pixar hashtag, #DrawWithPixar. Thanks again for joining us, you guys. This has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what you do. Take care.